Hi everyone. I'm going to introduce today about page builder data list. So data list, it's all about it's nothing about displaying a data into a rows and columns. So generally we see
Hello, excuse
this
me.
step. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. So this recording is can't be viewed in this laptop. It is only viewing in cell phones, mobile phones. The
Sorry, sorry.
resolution is the
You
resolution is very low.
we'll see this. Let's whatever recording is happening, it's happening, right? So we can't make it make it beautiful.
No, no, it can't. It is like a blank page we can see in this laptop. So that's why. Okay, no issues.
We'll see. We'll see it next. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Hmm.
Like after the recording, it can't be viewed in the laptop. It is only visible in cell phones. View the
Okay.
recordings. That's what it
We'll
is.
check that.
Okay, no issues.
Hmm. That's not a problem. Um, it's a page data list. So in page builder, the data list means it's all about to display data into a rows and columns. Generally, we see this kind of structure. We call it as a table. So in Zerocode, we'll call this as another name as a grid. So generally, we use while doing implementation, we call it as a grid. So representing a list of objects data into a rows and columns. So it's all about the data list. So with the data list in Zerocode, we have a properties tab and a styles tab. Okay, styles tab, I don't need to worry about right now. So it's all about to adding some CSS to the data list to display in different colors and styles. So let's focus on properties for now. So the properties tab will have more. This is the main key features we have. The top level key features. So inside properties again we have many keys and keys, and inside columns also we have many features. So let me brief about the top key features we have in properties tab. So one is ID. So ID is it will be generated automatically when you drag and drop the data list. So it's a unique UID. It should be unique UID always. So it will help when we are doing any actions like group actions or row actions, whatever it is. Like I'll let you know about how it will be helpful. Okay. Um, this ID will be generated automatically when you drag and drop. But if you want to give a good name to identify, so when you are linking this actions, grid data list actions to a form or to any API, so you can give your own name with proper identification. Like this helps when we have multiple data lists in the same page. So at the moment we can understand, we can identify easily so which data list you are going to attach in the action or a form. So that's the use of ID. The second one is title. So we have a title field there. The title field, the name, whatever we give, it will be displayed in a page. So this is the one we are going to display that on top of the data list. So this is the display name of the data list. And again, inside a properties tab, we have properties. This is the one actually we have the core component few features of the data list. So again here for now we can focus on only like API. Can someone I think go to mute? Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Someone is unmuted. Please go to mute.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Sir, you're not audible.
Oh,
Mahesh, sir, you're not audible. You're
sorry,
on
sorry,
mute.
sorry. It was mute. Sorry, properties. So I was short here, right? The properties is a key role of the grid. So it will play a very important role here. In inside the properties, there are many features, but we, as of now, we can focus on only these three things: API, pagination, and filters. API is a key one, which using this API only we are going to display data. So the API, what is going to API going to be explained in coming session? Like it will be useful. It will connect from backend to front end as a bit. So it will get data from backend and give it to as a JSON format to the front end. So using that one, we are going to display data into rows and columns. So we have to select that API here. So which API data we want to display, that API I have to select here. So here we have to select, it's data list, right? We have to select a data list API. So we have many type of APIs. There one of the type of API is list API. That API we are going to select here. And pagination. So the pagination will helps you to display some set of records at the time of first time. So the next time when you move to next page, it will get next coming next records, next set of records. So the way it helps to load only a particular size, defined size of records only. That's a feature of pagination. By default, the Zerocode will give only 10 records. There we have again an option to get more than defined size records. And filters, the filters will helps you on top of data list. You can filter the data. Like suppose you have a text field type of field and another drop down field. If you want to filter without search and just simply select one of the value and the data should be filtered. So we can have this feature also inside a properties tab. So it's about the top main important key features in the properties tab. And next is columns. So we have known about the API tag to a grid data list. And next is column. So here we have to add number of columns to display, like each column we have how many columns you want to display, we have to add those many columns here. So in each column we have, again we have to define some keys so that based on that it will be displayed. So I'll come to this next. So I'll briefly explain about this one. And actions. So actions is the columns is might be you understand that like in a table we have columns and rows, right? The columns is nothing about this one. Actions. So actions is we have divided into two type of actions, a group actions and row actions. Okay. So group actions is nothing about we'll have a single action on top of the data list. We can have one to many actions. For example, you have a add option. So to add, you want to add one record, we can define a group action. And row actions. So the row actions is nothing about having action for each record in a data list. So it's about these five only we are going to focus right now. We have again a footer and etc. So no need to focus on those things for now. So to understand basic about a data list, these things are enough. So let me go through each one briefly again in depth. So this how data list when you drag and drop. So if you create a page, so you know about how to create a page now. So after creating a page, if you go to the page builder, you have a third tab called data views. So in the data views, we are focusing on data list now. So here the first one you have data list. So this data list you are going to drag and drop here. So okay, in the after drag and drop data list, you can see the properties of this data list on right side. The ID, the first one is ID, and second one is title, and as I explained, properties and columns, actions, footers and loaders. So footer and loaders, I know to know about these things right now. So let's focus on only these five part. So and yeah, let me go to properties first. So inside the properties, we have a type here. Type we have two things here, table and card. So to display data into columns, rows. So we can go as by selecting table. By default, it will be table only. So no need of change anything here also. So card is nothing about display a data into a different HTML using different HTML display into different style. So for now, you don't need to focus on that. To display the simple data into columns, you simply select table is enough. Yeah, lazy also no need to worry about. It's all about data into lazy. I will let you know about coming sessions. No need to focus on about this one also. So next is we have to focus on mainly API. So API, when you click on API, you will be have these two options. These options, API URL and method. So we have params and extra params on success also. For now, you simply creating a API and attaching to this data list. When click on the API URL, you will see the list of APIs, the list APIs which you have created in whole Zerocode application. So you simply click on this, it will open all that, show all data. You search and select one of the API to display here. And the method is by default for list API. You can for APIs we have types of methods like get, post, put, update, and delete. So to display data here, we choose two type of method types to API, which is generally a post and get. So no need of worry about which one we have to choose, a get or post right now. You go with the post also, no issues. Okay, simply select a URL here. So then after we have params and extra params on success. Okay, so the params here we can add if you want to add send a data to a API to get add more conditions there. We will pass these params. So by default, it will pass some default params. If you want to add additional params, you can go for extra params. Okay, and on success. So after successful display of this data list, what you want to perform. So this is the one up to now. Let me pause here. Do you have any questions up to now here? I just explained about basic features of data list and how it works. So do you first of all do you understand what is meant by data list? Guys, any questions?
Sir, it's clear,
sir.
sir.
Clear. So
Yes,
you guys are
Yes,
advanced
sir.
already. Great. So no one have questions. Fine. So no one have questions, right?
No, sir.
Great. So this we have to for now you have to focus on only type table and select the API that and attach the API here. So I mentioned here how it helpful, but you need to focus on worry about the params and extra params and on success also. Okay, and next thing is pagination. So in a pagination tab, if you don't need to mention anything also, not an issue. So by default, it will get display only 10 records per a page. Okay, but if you open this pagination, we have a features to define. So where the pagination footer to be displayed on top or bottom. By default, it will display without selecting this one also. It will display on bottom of the grid. So I'll show you how it grid looks like and what are all pagination and what are all the columns and headers. So let me finish this thing and then show you. Okay. So this is the one. And display format we have futures like it will have 4 to 5 values here in display format. It shows that the number of records, the total number of records of a table, and on which page you are right now, and what is the next page, and number of paginations we have. So we have a different type of display formats of number of records to a pagination. There you can select one of those. And size, as I said, by default it is 10, even it's empty also. If you define here a 15, 20 or 30, it will just display defined number of records to a first page. That's the use of this size. And the style, it will helpful to add some changes to here. So no need of focus on this style right now. So this is about a pagination. Okay. So we have any questions here? Pagination. Hello.
Sir, can you repeat the display format, sir?
A display format, it will helps to display the total number of records of a page. We have a different formats here. Like we have up to 5 type of display formats. So if suppose if you want to display 100 records in a data list, if you don't select a display format, so no, by default it will display 10 records. But we don't know it. We have 100 records. If you don't select this display format, if you select this, it will display bottom of the data list, so that okay, you have 100 records and you are at first page right now. And if you go to next page, it shows that you are second page right now, and still you have for 10 paginations, and you have total 100 records. So if without selecting this, you don't know how many total records are there. So in a data list, we are going to display only set of records, right? Not all. So it will helps to know that okay, we have 100 records, but we are displaying only 10. So we are at first pagination. So it will helpful in this way.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone have questions? Okay, great. I was mentioned what about explain right now. And next, moving to columns. So after defining API and defining a number of pagination records to be displayed and where the pages should be displayed and what the display format to be displayed. Next, we are going to moving to columns. So after selecting an API and defining a pagination, when moving to columns, we going to add a columns here, like vertical. So columns is something about vertical, or rows is something about horizontal in a table. Okay. So we can add here a number of columns. So by adding more than one. So the columns, how many you are going to add? Those columns going to be displayed in a data list. Okay. So when you click on open a columns, when you click on add column, we have this model. We can call this is a pop-up or a model. So we generally call it as a pop-up. So in this pop-up, we have a column name and type. No, you have to focus only column name, type, and the column key name for now, and display format. So remaining things no need to worry about now. A column name, a type, column key name, and display format. So the column name which will be displayed on data list, like it's a name title for the column. So we can define our own name to be displayed in data list, and type. So type is nothing about it by default to be text. So we have here many number of types, like a text field, whether it is the going to column field type is a text field or a number field or a fraction field or date field or time field, whatever. Let's focus on we are going to basically we are going to select only text field here for to display a text field type of data. So you know about when you are creating many type of field types in data list, those field types we're going to given here to select here. Okay. we have mentioned the title of the column name and selected a type of the field name, and coming to column key for name. Now here, when you attach a API to a grid, and when you open this one, here you have the list of keys which you have selected in API. When you're creating API, list API, there you will have option to select fields which are exist in the data set. So you already created a fields in a data set, right? So when you create a API on top of that data set, there you have an option to select the fields from the data set. So what are the fields you have selected from the API? Those fields will be visible here. Okay, so that's the one. So for now, you don't know about API, so no need to worry about that. So I am just giving you how it will be helpful. Even though if you don't give an API in a grid, a data list, still you can give your own name, which is not coming from API. Okay, like you didn't give an API first. You are going to adding columns right first. Still you can going to be allows to define a key name and field a column name also. But thing is, the column key name should be always match with a data set field name, whatever field name code. So when you're creating a data set field, you have name and code, right? That code should be defined here, not your own key name here. So that should be match always. When the code and field code should be and the column key name should be always same. So to avoid confusion, we create API and attaching API, and then we are coming to columns here. We are going to select here. So in drop down, it will display all by default keys which I have selected in API. Okay. No, like the way only this data list understood that when a data list load to the API, it will give a set of records. In that records, you have a JSON data like a key and value. So it will matches this column key with the response data. So and will display the data in this column. So you should remember always the key name, column key name should be always same, which is attached to the API. Okay. And a display format. For always one column we can display one key data, but a display format will help you. Even though if you select one column key name on top, still you can merge and display multiple columns data here. Like for example, you have a first name and last name of an employee. Generally, we can display a first name is one column and last name in second column. So, but we want to display it both in one column. We have a future display format here. So by writing basic HTML, we can display those data into single column here. Even if you select only one column key name, but if you mention any display format here, it will overwrite this one. So for example, we generally call by default item is the key one, basic key. Using this item dot, and you will get that key. This key name is refers API field name. Here it might be first underscore name, might be different key name you given in API that will be mentioned here. The flower brackets is a syntax in Zerocode. The span tag I use for a basic span tag. This is a basic HTML tag. So to just display in a proper structure. And this flower brackets is a Angular syntax to helpful merge two keys, more than one keys, and display here. The flower brackets and item is a basic syntax, and the key is our own key. Whatever key we get from the API, that will be defined here. And close this key. So it will display the first name and giving one space, and again opening these brackets and mentioning item which refers the always current record of the object. So inside object we have a data, right? So that current object dot and whatever key name you define, that data will be displayed here. So like the way we can display more than one column data in single column. So do you have any questions about columns? Team, feel free to ask me. So are you guys there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Great. Means that you are advanced or you are known already, or you have any questions? You know already. You guys already gone through this, right? Okay. Great. And we have features I said about filters, right? We have a different type of filters on data list. So we can give us some advanced search form on top of data list, or we have a individual column search on in each column. So after adding a column, inside a column, we have a filters option. Below the action, we have filter. Inside a filter, we have features. Each column we can define a filter. So if it's text field, you can simply select a text and select a field match type as any enough. So what happen? It will give an option to search on each column. This is about a basic text field type search. Suppose if you have a any pick list data which is created in a data set, I mean, a link to a data set, and you want to give a drop down to filter data on that column. So inside a filter, you can select a field type as drop down. So if you select a drop down and you have to define what method type it is. So pick list means you can go for both, any type is fine. Method post is or getter is fine. And you have to choose the pick list URL here, a pick list or whatever it's any master URL, also no issues. So what happened after data list loads on top of that column below to the column name, it will give you the search field type. If you select a text field type, it will give only search box. So if you select as a drop down, it will give you a drop down to the column. Okay, so this is how it helps here. Params and all things also not required. For to display simple drop down to a column, this is enough. And we have a data label and data value. Here you have to mention what to be displayed and what to be sent to a filter to a data list. So generally we have any pick list, we have a name and UIDs. So to display, we have to display name, right? So we data label is display as a name. A value is UID we have mentioned here. So this UID going to be sent as a parameter to the data list API to filter data. So for drop down, we have to choose exact. When it's a text, you have to choose any. So if you have a date field type, we have to choose a range match type is range. So this is about filters. So do you have any questions here? So by default, even though you no need of select any filter, it will give you a simple search box to the each individual column. If you want go additionally to give a date picker on column filter, or you want to give some drop down filter on a column, you have to update information here. Yeah, any questions here?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Right now, no questions, sir.
Okay, great. All right, and yeah, after defining a search on each column, we have an option called sorting. So this sorting option you will be have inside a properties. So if you enable this one, by default it will be displayed disabled. If you enable this option, it will give you a sort on each individual column. So that's how it helps to sorting on each individual data, column data. And next is width. So width generally, if you don't mention also not an issue. If you have to display 10 columns. So if in a page, if you want to display 10 columns data, so each column might be different types. One data is a long text, one is a simple text, and another column is a drop down data, one another column is a date file. So if you have more field types, some of field data, so like long text field type data, you will have more data to display here. So in that scenario, columns will be merged and it will display looks like very ugly. So we know that which column will have a fixed length of data if it really comes always. For example, a date of birth. The date of birth might not come more than it won't come more than 4 characters, in 6 characters like month, day, year, right? So you know that what's the maximum length of that. So you can define in terms of percentage for each column, so that in terms of the sum of all columns percentage should be 100 always. You remember this one. And you know that for first name and last name, it's 20% is enough. And if you go for if about yourself, maybe display more data. For that, you can give 30% because it will have more data to display. So it will help you to display a column data in proper structure without going into looks like very ugly. So you can focus in properties only a sorting in width is enough for now. So any questions here?
Sir,
Any questions here?
sir, why it is called column, sir?
Table, right? HTML, we have a table.
Sir, you call it as column, sir. Why can't rows?
I'll let you know. In a table, you know that we have a columns on top first. So you don't look into the rows first. So which column it is first? You say that first the first name or last name, not a data, right? You refer always on column. So rows is about to display data. The column is the one to refer what data it is. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So we are adding columns. So in the columns will display data actually. If you adding columns, it will display both column name and with including a data. So number of columns you add, it will display number of columns with a number of records as by default 100 size, I said. So rows, you don't know, right? How many you go to? So we always display data in vertical, right? Not horizontal. I mean columns. So you can't add columns on vertical. If you add a rows on vertical, how you are going to display data? So vertical data can't be readable, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any questions? Great. Yeah. Next is actions. So for today's session also, no need of focus on much on this. Let me give you the brief about actions. No, we have, as I said, we have 2 type of actions to a data list. So one is a group action and another is row actions. You might be confused what is group and row. The group actions, it will be a single action to the whole data list. So we can have more than one group actions. Like for example, to add a record, or you want to download a records, you want to import a data to a data list. So like we have many group actions to the whole data list. And row actions. The row actions is nothing but for each, if you want to update or modify each individual record, you can define here row actions. So that's the difference between group and row action. The group actions will be displayed on top of the data list, and the row actions will be displayed against each row on top right side. So for example, row actions we have by generally we use like edit a record or delete a record. So these are examples of row actions. So if you go for group action, row actions, whatever it is, we have common pop-up here. This will be same for both group actions, row actions. So any doubts here about a group and row actions? Guys, hope you got my point and no issues.
Sir, once I explained rows, sir. Row action.
Row actions. So row actions is nothing about to update and modify each individual record. So that time we go for row actions. The group actions is nothing about adding a complete record to a table.
Sir, only one, sir, in row actions.
Row actions will be have for each and every
Group
record.
means, some of the
Uh,
things. Row means
it will have only
sir.
one action. Group action is one action on top of the data list.
Okay, sir.
And row action will be we have action for each and every individual record. The record means anything about horizontal, you know about. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what about others?
Sir,
Tell me.
so yes. Sir, it's clear, sir.
Clear. Great. So let me go into inside. What if you click on add group action or row action? So you'll have this common features, key features of the pop-up. Here to display here. The label,
Sir.
it will be displayed. Yeah.
So after completion of session, we will share that this document, sir, along with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
So I'm always sharing here. It will be column, it will be rows, right? I'm finishing up this demo. Also, I'll show you how it looks like. And you guys already know about, but let me give you some what is about actions and rows and columns. Okay. So when you click on a group action or row action, you can define a label is nothing about a name of the group action. So it will display it as a button. If you say add here, if you insert a label text box, if you define add, that button will be displayed as a add. So this is about name of the action. It's a group action or row action. And type. So for any group action, row actions, we use a common 5 types here. So what is meant by API means API, when you click on a button or like where is a group action or row action, you click on the button or icon, it will call that API and it will perform an action. So component. So component is nothing about we can open a form on right side or below, or you can open a form into a pop-up. So by selecting component, we have to choose on which pop-up we have to open on this clicking on this group action. So a page will help you when clicking on a button and it will redirect to that page. Whatever the page you select here, that will be redirected to that page. So after clicking on selecting a page, again you have a set of features. There you have to select the page, which page you have to navigate. And download. So we are giving the default option download here. By selecting this download option, you have to choose again an API, list API to get download this data list data. Next is script. So a script will help you to write some custom operations if it is beyond Zerocode. As a low code, if you know that if there's no option in Zerocode, we can do by writing some custom JavaScript options. So for now, you guys maybe focus on only, you may be required, you generally use only a API and component only. So no need to forget about a page and download and script. So for group actions, you refer a component and there you can choose a form. So and that form will be open when you click on this group action. And API we use for row actions generally. So for editing a record, you will open a pop-up. So you choose a component here for edit action, and API you choose for delete actions. Like when clicking on simply a delete a record, you call a API, the passing reference of this particular record. So we use this as generally component for add action and add option and edit action. For delete action, you use generally API. By default, calling API, we are passing some reference and deleting a record. Sorry. So any questions here? So what I'm told you is this both are same group and row actions only. Okay. So this is about a data list. Adding columns and mentioning API and page nations and filters and actions to the data list. Done my demo here. I'll show you the how the data list looks like. So I'll show you an existing data list. So here we have a list here. So as I said, so this is a column. And the records you see, this is let me have a one thing which have data. Yeah, take this one. So this is data list, how it looks like. So we call it as a generally grid. So the grid we have, as I said, this is a column. This is column label. Let me explain you briefly. User list, right? So I'm showing the existing data list, how it looks. So in this, I have added a name, role, username, email, mobile number, reports to, and status. These are the columns I have mentioned here. So I have selected, I have given some unique name to identify easily. So what is meant about about this data list? As I have given the user's title, so it will be displayed here. Actually, I have added this title right now. If you enable this one, that user's title will be displayed here. And the API I have selected here. So to get display the data here. And as I said, page nation. So we have this type of display formats here. So I have chosen this first one to display this one. So we have total 3 records, and you are at the first page nation, and you have only one page. So we have 100 records. It shows that you total 100, and you are at page 1, and remaining we have 10 pages. 10 pages. So that's how it helps the display format. And the size, as I said, it will display by default 10 records. So if you define 20, it will display 20 records per a page. So this is the advanced filters. So this is no need to focus right now. And we just go for only a column filters enough for now. So next, moving to columns. So I have added name as one column. Let me edit this as the name. The name, whatever the name I have given here, column name, that is displayed here. And the key name. So it is which you have list of keys. What are the API you have selected in the data list, and inside a key API, what fields you have selected, those lists will be displayed here. So we want to display first name of this user, right? So I have selected the first name here. So simply it will display first name. So if you don't give display format, it will display only the first name of this user. Even though I given some any key name, but I want to display some merging the couple of columns. So I go for this display format. Here I'm writing a basic syntax. This is a common basic syntax to merge and display more than one column data. I'm going to display salutation of the user, first name, last name, middle name and last name. So here it displays both. So Sai Kumar is the first name and last name. So we don't have salutation, that's why we don't display here. And filters. So if you don't select any filter, it will give you this search box by default. So if you are given drop down, so a role is a drop down here. Let me show you. I have selected drop down, field type is drop down, and I selected that list. So drop down list field type API name. So the name is displayed and UID it helps to filter data. So name and UID, what is the name and UID means? It is a unique reference of each record of the role data, and the name we are going to display. So you can identify this when you open a console. There you can see the data. User name we are going to display and UID. So mode of what is UID? It's some encrypted data which will helps to filter in backend process. So we have to tell that display the name and use UID to filter data. So this help. And so like the way we can add more than one columns. And what about next one is properties. As I said, if you enable the sorting, then only it will display this sort option. Otherwise, it won't display here. That's the one. So if you don't mention width, also not an issue. So we have only here, for example, you take here. So mobile number it displays in two lines. So you know that the role name won't be bigger than this. So we can give a width for each column and say that mobile number will have this much of percentage. You know the data will look display properly without having this zigzag ugly way. And that about one. And group action add. So add, download PDF and download Excel. These are group actions. So what are the actions you added here inside the group actions that will be displayed here. And these call row actions. Edit, delete, and we can add more than many type of row action. So you generally know about generally in you maybe use this edit option to edit the data of a record, and delete action to delete a particular record. So by clicking on this, we have one option to say user confirming user. If you say okay, then only we're going to delete the record. So this about a data list. So our page nation is about this one. The page nation is always will display on top, bottom. So if you select at top, it will be displayed on top. Where is that page nation? Yeah. If you select top, it will display on top of this page data list. If you select both, it will be page will be displayed both on top of the data list and bottom of the data list. This is about data list. You know it about API, what's the API you have to create and how we are going to integrate. So today you have to simply create a page and drag and drop a simple block, the layout ones. Inside the layout, you just drag and drop this data list. So the properties will be load on sys. No, forget about API. You and column key name, and you just add number of columns, as many columns you know, and say that page nation, display page nation and display format, and add this group actions and row actions. So row action won't be displayed, not an issue. Still just add it and show me. So how we have added the group actions and row actions. I just want to see the data list with a blank data and number of columns you have. And you just try to understand you have to understand then how it is going to be displayed the data list. I'll give that brief about task as a mail. That's all about this. Any questions? Guys?
Yes, sir.
So where we have to configure API to this data list, sir?
In properties, inside the API, here you have. It will display the list of APIs, list APIs which are created in the whole application, and you can come and search here.
Okay, sir.
So maybe maybe you don't know about API, not an issue still. So forget about the API integration. You simply add columns and define group actions.
Okay.
And just display. I want to see how you have added these columns and adding these group actions enough for now. And add row actions also. Still want to display row actions, but I just see into page builder task.
Okay, sir. Sir, I logged in with the end user credentials, but not able to see created applications.
Created application. Like you know that yesterday Mohan has explained you how to create application first, and then after a module on a page, then only you can see the page, and by how to selecting a menu option. Do you have about this idea about this one? How a page going to be displayed as a menu option on left side? The menu option is nothing about this one. What about this data? Whatever we have here, you know how to display a page, created page as a menu option. Yesterday Mohan was explaining you, right? How we can create a module, how we are going to link a module with a page, and how the page you have to
Yes,
define.
sir, I created, sir.
So you selected this page as a menu option. The menu option is something about when you go for a page and edit or add also we have of that feature, this menu. If select is menu, the page will be have an option to select on left side menu.
Okay, sir.
If you don't select this one, that page option page won't be displayed.
Okay, sir.
So, have any questions about yesterday's task or today's task? Today's demo. No, it's really great. I'm very happy that you understand better means I'm great. Fine. Can we close session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Access is set.
Sorry.
Access is set.
Mhm.
So I have a problem. So can I share my screen?
Screen? Yeah, please.
Hello. So when I'm clicking on this, it's showing nothing.
Yeah, you are at application list of application pages. Okay. You have to click on that application and then it will be display page. So this is a list of applications. You see the boxes. Okay, you have a list of applications here, and if you click on that application, it will display the pages which you have created in that application. So by default, Zerocode will have a list of pages in administration application. So you see the first is administration application. After login, if you have more than one application to a user, it will display the list of applications here. So by default, this is administration, and you have created newly hospital appointment application and e-commerce application and hospital and these others you have created. Okay. So if you created an application and or a module of that for that application and you created a page and link to that module, that page will be displayed in the inside application. So if you click on this hospital appointment booking, okay, whatever, it's fine. Here it shows. No pages you created, and you are saying that this page is linked to, when you're creating a page, go for a development kit, the admin application, not this user client admin application. Yeah, go for a page creation. Go back. Click on create page on right side plus icon. There you have create new. Yeah, add. Yes. So which application you select here, and this page will be displayed inside that application.
Sorry, yeah.
So if you're going to create page and you are selecting that application, so the page belongs to which application, right? So this page will be displayed inside that application. So what are the list of applications you are seeing here? This application list will be shown on when you log in immediately. You will see the list of applications there. Yeah. Going inside a application, there you can see the pages which have created linked to that application. Clear? So go back.
Yeah.
Go back. There only, yeah, just yeah. You see here, the right side application column. Third one, application column here in list. The column application column name. No, as you see, we have columns here: page name, code, application, module, right? Below. Ashish, this is data list. Looks like data list, right? Go for a page. Click on pages tab. So this we call it as a tab. So page name is one of the column.
Again, sir.
Page name is column, right? Page name is column. Code is a column, and application is one of the column. So this also looks like a data list. This is also data list. So here you are saying that this page belongs to e-commerce. The category list pages belongs to e-commerce application, belongs to category module. So you want to see this category list page, you have to move into the e-commerce application. So if you open an e-commerce application, then only you can see this category list. So if even though it is linked to the e-commerce application, this will be selected as a menu option. Then only you can see this link in website menu option. So click on this edit page. Right side actions you have, right? Edit this page, category list page. Where you can see edit actions to this record. Right side you have actions, 3 dots. So edit this page. Yeah. So if you select ease menu, then only this page option will be displayed on left side. Otherwise, it won't be displayed. Okay. Generally, might do mistakes. Generally, you do all these things, but you might not select this ease menu option. So that you know that there's an issue, you can't see the page. Okay. You understand or have any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I don't have app selection option and not able to see created applications.
Share your screen. So
Can you
this is
see?
generally it's end user. Okay. You log in as an administrator. So, but do you create any applications in dev kit?
Yes, sir.
Go for client admin application. Client admin application. Yeah. Go for apps. Click on apps. Left side apps. Yeah. Click on that. So we have created three additional application names. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you created modules for?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. And you have created modules for. Okay, this one. Okay, go for data sets pages. Come back. Go back. Yeah, these are pages, right? For better understanding, go to that. Click on apps. Click on apps, yeah. Click on apps. So click on modules tab. So we have created many modules and link to these applications.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and go for pages. And if you selected here, so if you want to see this appointment page, okay, say you say this is a public access. You know the green color which will define type of access.
Okay.
Okay. Click on that actions, edit page. Log out once login there. So no, not here, not here. User application, client user application. Client user application. This one, user application. So here, first of all, why you removed the rules?
Where, sir?
Here, this is the roles menu, right?
Yes.
Click on manage. We have admin role. Okay, admin application. Okay, go to user list. By default, you have Lakshmi Bhavan as administrator.
Yes.
Okay. Log out and log in once. This user. So
Yes.
when you create a new application, you might have to log out and log in once.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So clicking on a hospital application management, hospital appointment application, so you can see. Found out what is API not found, still not an issue. So you just have to define a data list. Yeah,
Okay.
this looks fine enough. What you define, what you have to understand what is columns and what is rows.
Yes, sir.
Fine. What about others? Akhil. Akhil, are you there? Do you understand today's session and you are clear about yesterday's session?
Hello.
Akhil, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do you understand about clear about yesterday's session and do you have any questions about today's session?
Sir, right now I not have any queries, sir.
That is great.
While I am doing practicing, I will get some queries, sir.
Great.
I will ask the queries today evening or tomorrow, sir.
Okay, fine then. So clear. Hope so I'll be wait for one more time, 1 more minute. If you have anyone have questions, you can raise, or else we are going to close session.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Siri.
Is every page we have to mention is menu compulsory, sir?
If you want to see that page as a menu option, you have to select a menu.
If
So,
we don't select, we didn't get, sir.
You won't get as an option in application, but you know it will help sometimes in a data list. If you see, click on add action. If you want to open another page, that time you need to select a easy menu there. So generally, if you want to display as a menu option, by default you select as easy menu. So otherwise not required. But you know it will help you only is not easy menu option pages will help you to link to any actions to a page.
Okay.
If you don't select ease menu, it won't give an option to display on left side menu.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Ranjit?
Hello.
Ranjit? So, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine then. I'm stopping my session here. For any questions, we'll have it in the evening. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks. Please do understand and do some practice on data list. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Priyanka?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm stopping this.
Yeah, okay, sir. I'll end the
Yeah.
call.
Yeah. In the call.
Thank you.